Hey, good evening. Welcome to the LGBTQ Voice. I am host Tracy Welch, along with Eileen Dugas. Tonight we're going to talk about aging as LGBTQ and South Coast Pride. So tonight we actually have two guests. We have Donna DeMello, who has been a longtime volunteer for South Coast Equality and South Coast LGBT Network, who actually we just did South Coast Pride on Saturday. And we have Jackie Webb, owner of the Donut Factory, and she was one of our vendors that was at Pride this year. So you want to take the next step?
Sure. So today we want to talk about Pride, your experiences at Pride. I know that this was your first time, Jackie, at Pride, and what it was like to be a vendor, what you expected compared to what really happened, and your thoughts about Pride in general.
Okay, so I had never had any Pride experience or any real expo yet. So we just opened in November, and the week prior we had done a Taste of South Coast. So I was kind of thinking that it would be something similar to that, right? So I'm like, all right, well, people try the food and that sort of thing. And people did. There was a phenomenal turnout. It was just a great experience. But it was so much fun. Just even being a vendor, not having been able to necessarily participate in the experience, it was amazing. I enjoyed the performances. The guests that attended were so excited about the donuts. We did rainbow donuts, so people were really receptive to it, and I liked it.
So I did try the rainbow donut. It was sweet, and I was actually at the place afterwards, so it went down with a nice beer. I have to say that. So it was like, it's got to be at least that thick, and I couldn't even get it in one bite. I had to do a little bite, little bite, little bite, little bite, little bite.
And beer, milk, same thing.
Something like that.
And the donut itself was rainbow, not the frosting, so that was pretty cool. Right?
Yeah.
So.
And we talked about earlier that you guys are at 102 Rockdale Ave in New Bedford, diagonally from Ma Raffer's. So if anybody's looking for that.
Yep, right in the south end.
So we were talking about earlier, I'm sorry, how you get your ideas for your donuts.
So we were talking about, we basically collaborate ourselves. So our store manager is Carla Duarte. She's absolutely amazing. Could not do this without her. But basically we'll sit down and we'll talk about desserts that we like, or cheesecakes or carrot cakes. We'll talk about, going through the grocery aisles and saying, Pop-Tarts or fruit snacks or those sort of things, like what do people like, right? And then we will collaborate. We'll each do one, and we'll play around. We'll roll them in different things and taste them. That's the best part. But yeah, and then so basically,
Are you hiring?
What was that?
Are you hiring?
We are. Yeah, we are. We're hiring for a donut decorator.
There you go.
But we joke around all the time. We're like, we love our job. Could there be another job? I mean, you can't get skinny in this job, but it's a good job.
So
right?
How long did it take to prepare the rainbow? I mean, there's all the different layers. I mean,
the rainbow donut, my baker's gonna kill me. But I was basically like, hey, I want to do a rainbow donut, and I was thinking throwing some dough together, and he's like, you want what?
Well, Providence Pride has a grilled cheese. That has the rainbow colors.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, so they do that. Then actually their
really
Pride's
cool.
coming up in 2 weeks, two Saturdays.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they do a grilled cheese at a place in Providence.
Yeah.
For a fundraiser.
But he, once he did it, and I don't know, you guys saw them, right? But it was so beautiful. Sometimes I was like, wow. I posted a picture of my son, we call him the CEO, and I posted a picture of him taking a bite, and it was just perfect. Perfectly layered. Amazing. Amazing.
So what else, you have other things besides donuts?
We do.
So tell us a little bit about what else you have.
So we also do crazy milkshakes. Okay. We'll do a strawberry cheesecake milkshake, Oreo, Reese's, what do we call it? We call it peanut butter explosion. So our cups are actually partially edible. So obviously there's the plastic cup, but we coat them in a fudge. And then we roll it in Reese's Pieces. We douse it in a chocolate sauce and peanut butter sauce.
So next time we have you here, you need to bring some.
Right?
Next year's Pride.
I know, I'll get invited places just for the food. But yeah, it's so good. And each shake has over a pound of ice cream. So sometimes people are like, oh, it's a little pricey. It's $7.99 and up. But let me tell you something. When you drink that shake, it's can I say this, fat kid status? It's so good. It's so good. I can say it because I am, but it's good.
So what's the youngest person and the oldest person that you saw at our event on Saturday? Age group?
Actually there was an infant, but I was surprised to see the little kids, and they were playing it. It was a family event. It was amazing. And then there were older couples and women and men, and it was just like, it was so family oriented. You could see, you could feel the love. You could really feel the love. And I just, you know, caught myself smiling and just like soaking it all in. And one of our coworkers, Alex, she was with me, and she's like, I love this. And I was like, we bonded together in the event too. And then even one of the girls, oh my gosh, Kat. So she got out of work early, didn't tell us she was coming, and she came down to take part too. So it was just like, it was a community event. I absolutely loved it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I'd do it again if it was next week.
Once a year's enough for me myself.
Yeah, I need at least a 6 month break to prepare.
Definitely. But you know what was cool? It's like, it was the second year, right?
For this organization, yeah.
So I said to Alex, I was like, imagine what this is going to be as it continues to grow.
Yes.
Right? So it was like, it was humbling to be a part of it in the beginning, you know, and to see where this is going to be. Because Asan, he's a member of your organization, right? He actually referred us. He asked us, and I was like so humbled. But he was saying, I believe there were like 24 vendors last year and maybe 40 this year.
Correct.
So you had that significant growth in just 1 year. Can you imagine where this is going to go?
Well, we actually got a late start. Donna was on our committee last year helping out. And we got a late start this year. We're already ready to start in November, where you just opened this past year, November. We're already going to send it out the beginning of before the end of this year to Coke and Pepsi and Polar, all the big wigs, and kind of change it up a little bit. We were talking offline that I see a farmer's market next year. There's just certain things. So if people have ideas about Pride, if you went to Pride this year, or even if you've never been to our Pride, you're like, hey, why don't you have this? You can email me at Tracy that's Tracy with an I, TRACI, at sclgbtqnetwork.org, or Eileen at
sclgbtqnetwork.org, or you can call my cell now at 774-775-2656.
Yeah, I just think it's a great day. I mean, and actually John, who's an adult advisor with us at NB Agley, said, why don't we set up a thing that after a certain amount of years, you are now first and second vendor. So the last person that comes on is last, and each year you continually support our Pride, you get to move close to the stage. And I said, well, that's a kind of cool idea.
That is.
But right now we have 40, that would be number 2. But in general, I mean, how cool does that sound? I was like, wow, you know, so the ideas, you know, bring them. I always say there's never a dumb idea, you know. We definitely like to work with it. So,
if there's performers you want to see, different event ideas that you have, let us know. We're open to whatever you have, whatever your interests are. We want to hear about it.
Yep, and just remember, guys, we don't have a lot of money. So the first stuff that we do is a lot of volunteer work. We pay for the sound, the stage, the main acts or entertainment, as you call it. I mean, they've come from Sister Funk. Shout out to you guys. I mean, they came out from, you know, Connecticut. So there's certain things that we definitely have to pay for, and they gave us a huge cut on our expenses this year. But we're still over $8,000, right? $7,000, $8,000 and alone just for running the Pride. So people are like, but everybody volunteered. Well, it's the stage, it's the setup, it's the tent, it's the police, it's the after party, you know, the DJs, it's you know, the security at the bar. Next thing you know, we paid for the bathrooms. You know, you add up the money, you add up the money.
For the pot.
The what?
Permits.
Permits. You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, so when we say, you know, and I call you up and I'm like, can you do it for free? Can you do it for free? Please, can you do it for free? There's a reason for that. Because the more funds that we keep for our community is for the organizations that we're trying to run and programs that we're trying to run. So we do Pride, as you said, inclusive is one of the words that I've used from Jeff Coster and I talked a couple of years ago. Having inclusivity, having people come and feel included, the family, the friends. It's a great day, and again, this is South Coast LGBTQ Network's second year of this, and Dawn and I were on it with South Coast Equality for a few years. So to see where we were at Custom House Square, to in front of Poor Farm, you know, that was what we were given, and I guess our expectations at the time. So now that we have more people that have joined the committee, we have 12 members now of the network. Our board is growing. We're able to outreach and outsource some more. And 1-800-DIAL-A-FRIEND that I joke about, it's real. I will call you. As of tonight, we just called these guys an hour ago to show up here for the show. Because we've been working on Pride. And we're like, who are our guests tonight? I mean, we're like, oh my God, we didn't have guests tonight. So when you have that luxury of calling Hassan, calling you, me calling you, it's very nice. So we have Donna, you know, and Donna and I have worked for a few years together here and there for a lot of stuff. Donna's got 2 gay kids and, well, young men now, but to us they're kids. And yeah, what do you think of this year, you know, compared to last year, compared to?
Yeah, but I started volunteering for last year. Unfortunately, my vacation fell in the middle of Pride last year,
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure that was, it was so sad to be away on vacation.
You poor thing.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, my kids have volunteered, been performers at Pride, so, before. And so for the second year, you know, seeing it, I didn't get to see it working last year, and then all of a sudden this year it almost doubled. So if you know any vendors or you are a vendor and would love to come, you know, join in the fun, you know, that would be great. The more vendors, again, you know, your first time and, you know, you had a great day. So that's what it's about. It's about family. It's about love and being together and having a great time and showing pride. That's what it's about.
So one of the things that we worked on as a committee, as a group, is, I don't say we only charge $50 for you guys to come in. If it's a nonprofit, we didn't charge anything. Because for me, I kind of look at it, how many donuts do you need to sell? Or how many pieces of jewelry does a vendor need to sell? Or how many buttons does a vendor need to sell? And we're not a big Pride yet. Maybe one day we'll be like, oh my God, this space is too small, and that would be amazing. But right now, this is what we have to work with. So yeah, let's get that $50, you know, gives the $50. What was it, 2,000, whatever, I can't remember now. Too many numbers in our head right now.
Yeah, a lot of numbers.
Well, not all 40 vendors were for profit.
Right.
So we had Greater New Bedford Health, we had Seven Hills there, we had the South Coast Health Van.
New Bedford Voc was
New
there.
Bedford Voc was there, Q Plus Club was there.
Yes.
I mean, we had a lot of nonprofits, so it was terrific. What I really liked is we ended up, the guy that was selling all that rainbow product, we actually met the Saturday before at Massachusetts Youth Pride.
Yes.
Because we kept saying, you know, we need to get more vendors, we need to find one. Well, that Saturday, I made John, our other Delta advisor for NBAD, to go over and get us information.
And he called me on
And
Sunday.
he called, and the next week, he was at our Pride. So maybe next year, you know, we'll have a little bit more, but having that, he must have made a crap load of money being the only guy selling rainbow stuff. I mean, we did it at our table. We had the New Bedford Pride hats, we had flags that we were selling, things like that. But I think it was a wide variety of different things. I mean, people were selling their arts and their crafts. So even this year, I had our artistry tent.
Yep.
And one of our guys was making free portraits of any youth. Adults would pay for their own, and some of the proceeds was going back to the network. We had Third Eye was there doing some art stuff from 10 to 1. We had a kids zone this year. The Bubble Guy was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
The Bubble Guy. The Bubble Guy. Vinny, shout out to Vinny, the Bubble Guy. That's really his business, called the Bubble Guy. If you want a guy that blows bubbles all day long, it's not out of a wand. No, it's this big wand, the size of, I don't know, a hockey stick.
Almost a
Out of his little cake.
That's so cool.
And, yeah, I think every time you looked around, it was kids just trying to jump him, you know? And the K-9. I love the K-9.
Yeah, that was
I mean, having the police department come down and support us and do a K-9 demonstration was really cool. We had them off to the side, and people didn't leave Pride. It was kind of like walk over, because people had dogs, and they wanted to make sure that their dog was focused on the bad guy, so they did that kind of routine. What you got? Any comments?
Of course. My Hassan is here. Alicia's here. Hi.
Our Alicia?
No.
All right.
Alicia.
Oh, sorry.
Hassan's mom.
Oh, hello.
Jets fan, hi. I'm glad you're here. And let's see. Maria, hi Maria. And let's see. Everyone's just saying hi.
Did you all come to Pride? How about what did you think of Pride?
What did you think of Pride?
There you go.
Yeah.
And respond back to that.
You guys want to talk about those performances?
Yeah,
Sure,
please.
let's talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I was absolutely amazed.
Yeah.
Have
you ever seen drag queens perform before?
Yes, so I went to one drag show before, and it had like Hailey Starr and Latifah Jones, and they were so much fun. But I just found so I don't know their names, but there was one where he had the labels
Oh, that's
I'm
Zoe?
Zoe.
So Zoe is one of our youth from MB Agley, and
Okay.
Zoe is our MB Agley ambassador.
Okay.
So that was a moving number.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I was literally brought to tears.
Yeah.
For
It was
that
only her third performance that she's
Okay.
done.
And so when I saw her and she came up to me, I was like, absolutely amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to hug you, you know? So that was one that was very moving for me. And I'm sure for so
Yeah.
many people. And then there was the blonde with the fringe dress.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Was that Mike? I'm sorry,
no.
Jalia?
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
Oh no,
So-
She'll I just say
Jayla
like
Rose.
jumped into a split?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Next week we will show
Very,
you
very
that
good.
video.
Yes.
I
Okay.
did not send it.
Yeah, next week, yeah. we're
I'll
gonna-
show that video.
Yeah, we're gonna show a couple videos tonight, a couple videos next week, just so.
Do you want to show one now so we can talk about it?
I'd love to. Josh,
Okay.
can you hit one up?
The one with the dress, the black and yellow dress.
Yep, so we'll.
Crystal diamonds.
Crystal diamonds.
Yes.
All right.
No time to fall. You gave me nothing at all, but still you're in my way. I beg and borrow and steal. At first sight, and it's real. I didn't know I would feel it, but it's in my way. Your stare was holding, red jeans, skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number. So call me maybe. It's hard to look right at your baby, but here's my number. So call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number. So call me maybe, and all the other boys try to chase me, but here's my number. So call me maybe. Oh, you came into my life, and it's just so bad, it's just so bad, it's just so bad. Before you came into my life, and it's just so bad, and you should know that it's just it's hard to look right at your baby, but here's my number. So call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number. So call me maybe, and all the other boys try to chase me, but here's my number. So call me maybe. Oh, you came into my life, and it's just so bad, it's just so bad, it's just so bad. Before you came into my life, and it's just so bad, and you should know that. So call me maybe.
Hey guys, we're back. That was actually.
Crystal diamonds.
Thank you. So yeah, we're gonna show you another one in a little bit. But yeah, we had a great day at Pride. You know, seeing the different kids this year, and from last year's Pride, that's why we decided to do the South Coast Brass Band this year. The Bubble Guy, actually, because Eileen wasn't there yet, but hopefully she will be this year. We marched in the Cape Breton Parade last year, and when we did, there's a guy blowing bubbles in front of us with the little bubbles, but not so big as the Bubble Guy. So I hit up my friend that was in front of us, and I said, hey, I sent an email to the Bubble Guy. I said, who was the guy that was with you? He goes, it was the Bubble Guy. It happened to be the same guy that we were thinking about. I said, dude, you got to help me out here, man. You got to get him for me. So seeing the bubbles, seeing the different things that we had. And again, you know, Donna reaching out, she's right off the bat, she sent 350 emails out. So, I mean.
If not more.
So, and then plus Eileen probably sent out 200.
Yeah.
So if you think of it that way, I mean, even if it was 400, 500 emails, we got 40 vendors. However, we got ads for our program guide. We have connections that people want to know next year. People are going to be like, oh, I missed out. That's what I want people to look at. Oh, I missed out. You know, every year that we get a little bit bigger, you know, I'm going to say bigger, better, better. You know, I want people to kind of say, you know, I had a good day. So we did, I believe, I'm not sure if we did or not, we were going to put a suggestion box. So again, if you guys have suggestions for us, I apologize, guys, my sinuses are not where they need to be today. Just hit us up by email. You know, if you see us out and about, you know, Eileen is going to be at Pride Cafe on Monday nights from 7 to 9, plus yoga. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Sure. So every place, I'm all around. So I'm at the LGBTQ Center at 484 Pleasant Street. Monday night, 5:30 is yoga. 5:30 to 6:30, it's free. Come down, do yoga with us. If you've never done it before, try it out. This is my first experience with yoga, and I'm doing it.
You'll love it.
It's awesome.
Is
I
it the
do love
14
it.
plus though?
It is 14
Okay.
plus. And then at 7, there's Pride Cafe, that's 18 plus, which has been going great, and
Yeah.
attendance there has increased, so a lot of new people are coming, so that's amazing.
And what do you do there?
Play games, talk, hang out, conversation, depends what's going on in the community.
Yeah.
If there's something someone wants to talk about, if someone's had an experience they want to talk about, if you just want to sit around and play games. Last night we had pizza.
Well, I stopped by the week before, and some guys were hanging out playing games,
Yeah.
other guys were just kibitzing, seeing what's going on,
Yeah.
and just socializing and getting out.
Last night Jeff Costa stopped in.
Ooh, shout out to Jeff.
Jeff,
Yoga.
thank you. So Monday nights is a pretty long night, so we're there from
Yeah.
like 5:30 till about 9 between yoga and Pride
And
Cafe.
then we usually have our meeting at 4. So we
Yes.
have our meeting from 4 to 5-ish, and then she's got to set the mats and get everything going. So Eileen has got a long day on Mondays, so.
And then Tuesday we're here.
Yeah, Tuesday we are here.
And then Wednesday there is tutoring.
Yep.
I think that might be put on pause for the
Yeah,
summer.
we actually have our meeting
Thursday.
Thursday, so we're gonna figure out, do we wanna stop tutoring for the summertime?
Mm-hmm.
And the kids program on Wednesdays as well, the 8 to 13 group.
I'm not sure because now
Yeah.
I got 3 emails about new kids that
Yeah.
want to start coming after Pride, so we'll have to work on that.
Yeah,
See
we
what's
definitely
going
do,
on.
because we also thought about, so if, one of our adult advisors is a school teacher, doesn't have school, can he do it during the day? And instead of being an afternoon tutoring, do a day thing. So we've got some things that we're working on right now for the youth in our community.
Definitely. So, the next few weeks anyways, we will have tutoring from
Yep.
4:30 to 5:45, and then we'll have LGBTQ youth and their parents, ages 8 to 13. Bring your parent with you, they must stay. And that is from 6:30 to 7:30. We do arts, crafts, all kinds of different activities, board games. Basically, we go with whatever the kids want to talk about, what they want to do. It is not a really structured group. It's for socialization, and it's to talk about what the kids want to talk about.
So what about support for the parents? Is that where we're at yet, or?
So right now, it's basically as needed, what the
Yeah.
parents need. If it becomes a bigger need, then
Yeah.
we might look at having a separate group for parents where the kids aren't there, because
Yeah.
the space really doesn't allow for that private conversation at this time.
And that's why one of the things I'm excited about for our 501c3.
Yes.
Because if we get our bigger space, we talk about clinician work, be able to have that private room and have the kids do their functioning and their playing and the good time, and then pull the parent aside for the moment and say, hey,
Right.
listen, this is the needs, what can we do, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And,
Even just looking at resources, sometimes
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable to do that in front of the kids.
Oh, definitely. And Eileen, I mean, there's a lot of things that we do behind the scenes, and Eileen kind of had to put it on hold right now, but she's been working on the resource guide.
Yes, I have. It's been on hold for a little bit due to Pride, but I'm trying to pull together some resources for the LGBTQ community, friendly doctors, events in the community,
Yeah,
therapists,
Because right now in my pocket, we
psychologists.
always pull out, I have a street sheet 2017 that tells us what's going on in New Bedford, in the Massachusetts area, crisis numbers, things like that. How cool would it be just to have an LGBTQ one? Where all your things were just on one sheet that you can fold up and put in your wallet and keep it. There'll be a huge resource guide, it'll be on our website, our page and whatnot. We're looking to maybe at some point print out booklets that we can leave out and about, and then it'll be updated yearly or however we decide to do it, because things do change in our community.
Yep. What else? Yoga, Wednesday.
Thursdays?
Oh, Thursday.
Yeah.
We're on Thursday. Thursday is NB Agley.
And what is MBAGLE?
NB Agley is 14 to 24-year-olds. It is, let's see, peer-led, youth-driven, adult-supported,
Close enough.
something like
Wrong
that.
order, it don't matter.
So basically, has an educational portion to it and a socialization portion. So that is every Thursday from 5 to 7.
Yep.
First Fridays is a socialization time for the 14 to 24-year-old group. The adult advisors don't have to attend.
Yeah, it's just a night for the kids to hang out, even though our peer leaders are adults. Or actually, we could have a peer leader who's 14, but right now, our peer leaders are over 18. And a lot of our youth are still 18 to 24, even though we do 14 to 24. So we just say it's without adult support, then kind of hang out and do their own thing. Sometimes it's a movie night, a game night, a Wii night, a hoo-hoo night, whatever it happens to be. But the same rules apply at our space, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no discriminating against each
Bullying, no
other.
bullying.
And the drama llama, the drama's out the door.
Yeah.
It doesn't come into space, so.
Saturday, we're off.
We're off.
Sunday, Sobering Out, that's a AA group,
Yeah.
and it is 9 to 10 a.m., same location.
Yeah.
And the fourth Wednesday of every month is the LGBTQ Senior Supper Club, and that is at, where? Fairhaven Council on Aging.
Yeah.
So, that's what we have.
Yeah, most definitely. What's funny is we have this sheet, and I can't wait till one day that everything we do, it's on like 8 pages that we have to read one time. You know, we're getting there and again, hiring Eileen was one of the things that the network did very, very successful this year. Bringing her on, you know, we had ideas of getting things implemented, but hiring somebody to actually take that step and get us to where we are, Eileen did that. So it's muchly appreciated, because like I said, I mean, I have ideas, we all have ideas, but to take that next step with us all working, and she has a full-time job plus, you know, so be able to take that responsibility on,
But this is the fun stuff.
yeah.
This is the fun
Yeah, it is, you know, seeing the growth. I mean, you saw the kids smiling at Pride, you know, to see those kids smile, you know, and even the jazz, you know, I kind of look at out there and I could see the people getting a little, you know.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, you know, and in each year, like I said, you know, we'll add a little different things, you know, we cut out the flamethrower and the sword, you know, the whatever. I know my guy behind me wanted a sword swallower this year. We'll work on some different things. Yes, Kevin's looking at me. You didn't do it, Tracy. There's just certain things that, you know, we kind of cut out last year because, you know, we kind of look out in the audience to see what it dissipates. Okay, well, that wasn't good, so check that off next year. Or no offense, a flamethrower, Rhode Island Pride needs that because it's illuminated at night.
Right, it's
You know,
not a
there's just
night
certain
event.
things, you know, that would be cool at night, maybe at the bar, right?
No
That'd be
flame
funny.
throwing at the bar.
Okay.
That's actually one thing that I said being there to Alex, was that I wish it continued into nighttime, because I just felt like having that ambiance and stuff, like there is so many things that you can do at night.
Yeah.
So what time did it start? 11?
11 to 4.
11
Well,
to 4.
technically, we started at 9. We had a wellness walk around the park.
Uh-huh.
We had yoga at 9:30 with Jeff Costa, shout out. And then Pride was from 11 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe even having something like on the pier or something like that at night.
Yep, on the what?
On the pier.
Yeah, we tried to get the duck boat, I mean, not the duck boat, the paddle boats
Oh,
this year
that'd be
as
so
well.
cool, right?
We didn't, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what happened with that. Maybe one of us
I don't
dropped the
know.
ball, I don't know, but maybe
Could have
next
been.
year.
It
Could have been.
Could have been. Could have been
Just
me.
kind of, but we want like different sections where you can go do this, you can do that, like I said, the farmer's market, just certain things, like a family-friendly day.
Yeah. Right.
Inclusivity.
And
I
the
think-
paddle boats, you can go from day to night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but to do a full day, that's a lot of extra money. And a
It's
lot
all
of,
right, Eileen.
a lot of work. I mean, we started, I got there at 6:30 and I ended up leaving at 11 o'clock at night. Eileen ended up starting the same time, and then she stayed till 1 a.m. at the bar.
Yeah, it's a long
I
day
just
for
couldn't
guys.
handle it anymore. My body's just dead right now.
Yeah, we take it for granted because we don't see.
See, that's the
everything
other
that goes
thing.
on behind.
That's exactly one thing you're talking about. People take it for granted. I'm just gonna show up and I'm at Pride. Well, there's a lot. We had like 19 volunteers this year.
That was amazing.
I mean, I only added it up originally when I did the sheet. Some didn't come. Some people just showed up and said, I'm here. We're like, here's your t-shirt, you know, ready to go. You know, we have a job for you. You know, we had people just sitting around the kids' zone, just kind of hanging out. And we walked around to make sure people were safe. You know, we had the police there. You know, nothing happened.
You know, it was nice because the whole day, people were smiling, people were laughing.
And it didn't rain!
And it did not rain. It might have been very humid,
Yeah.
but it did not rain,
Yeah.
which I'll
Jay
take
held out.
it.
We all pray for that. Every Pride prays for no rain.
No rain.
And every Saturday this month, there's a Pride.
Yes.
And
Is
that's-
there?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Boston Pride is this Saturday.
Okay.
Then Rhode Island Pride, and then it'll be like the New York has the next one. And P-Town was just this past weekend,
Yes,
as
it
with,
was.
with ours as well. So I wish them well, even though it coincided with ours. I always, we boosted that on our show a couple weeks back. We talked about different prides. Listen, if you're in Boston, they were doing a cruise over. You know, take the boat over and hit Pride up for the day. And we'll be talking about more prides coming up because there's Cape Cod Gay Pride, which is at Falmouth High School, and I'm not sure
Yeah.
which Sunday it is. Worcester has a Pride coming up. That's usually later on in the September-ish. So we'll be talking more about prides as we're going on. I know we're halfway through-ish, so we're going to kind of change topics. Do you want to see the other video first?
Sure.
All right, we'll do one more video of Pride, and then we'll head
Yes.
over to our topic.
Yeah, sounds good.
Josh, could you hit up the other video, please? Thank you so much.
Heard the road was a secret chord. David played and pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall in the major lift. That's the king composing. Hallelujah, saw her living on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya.
Hey guys, that was Joel Butler. Actually, Joel hit me up on Facebook and said, hey, I know you're looking for performers for Pride. I'd love to come down and sing a song for you. So it could be that easy, especially when somebody posts, when I ask somebody to do it and I get an acceptance from that. They post it on Facebook, hey, I'm performing at Pride. Hey, I'm performing at Pride. Next thing you know, and some of them will tag me to it. Thank you, Tracy, for the opportunity. And then I get hit up, hey, you're still looking for more? I'm like, if it's free, it's for me, you know? Okay, I can fit you in, or I can fit you in. So just a quick shout out before I know you want to.
All right, so Ty says hello from the Donut Factory.
Hi, Ty.
Can you deliver?
X Factor, please. Yummy. Dennis, hi everyone, especially my mother-in-law, Donna. Thank you all for the work you put in for Pride. I would love to see mini Prides throughout the year for LGBTQ people. That's a great idea. I was just thinking, while we were talking about some type of fall festival, that would be a great idea. And then we'll go into the winter film
Fantastic
series.
Fall. Yep, Follies.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that. Dennis Garcia, hi. He says, good job. Darlene, is that sheet available to the kids? I'm not sure what sheet you mean. Give me some more details and I can
Oh, the
answer
street
that.
sheet?
The street sheet? Darlene, let me know what sheet you're talking about and I'll get back to you. You can actually call my cell, 774-775-2656.
But you can't pick up right now.
Not right now. And we can talk about what information you need. And Nancy, hi Nancy, how are you?
Yep, and just one quick shout out to Wheezy, Wheezy Entertainment. They hooked me up really, really well this year. You know, they're DJ. I mean, I know your sons do DJ and stuff like that. So they worked really hard behind the scenes to get a full working band there. And Sister Funk brought so much equipment that they didn't need to bring to help us out because we weren't ready for that. So next year we may have to get a bigger sound person, like I don't want to say more professional because Wheezy is professional. Bigger, maybe a double soundboard, whatever it happens to be. But Sister Funk came with extra carloads because they brought their equipment. So we were very successful this year because, you know, you hit out people like, listen, this is where I'm at. This is what we need, and can you help us out? And we were able to be successful again this year. You know, friends of friends, and I joke about 1-800-DIAL-A-FRIEND because within 1 hour we got you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was usually, like I said, my kids perform, but two of my kids that run the DJ business, each of them had a wedding.
Yep.
So one kid went one way, one kid went the other way.
Yep.
My other son that sings, he couldn't come.
Well, I did ask
He was at
him.
a wedding.
Her son, Jay, is a rapper, song artist, and but he doesn't have these songs without swears. So he couldn't come.
No.
I was like, no. I've asked him every year.
But he also had a wedding, so.
Yep, I do ask him. So we're going to kind of change the subject or the storyline to aging as LGBTQ. We've had some of our elders, and they like to be called mature, but for this group, for what we're talking about, it's aging as LGBTQ. So some of the stuff, you know, Tom was on the show, Tom's husband Marvin hasn't been on the show yet, but Connie's been on the show, from the Fairhaven Council on Aging. So I know we have some phone numbers we're going to give out a little bit later, but Eileen's going to start the topic off and some key points about.
Okay. So June is actually Elder Abuse Awareness Month. So we're going to talk a little bit about types of abuse that elders might encounter. So physical abuse,
Yep.
emotional abuse, financial abuse, and sexual abuse. So abuse isn't always, there aren't always physical signs or physical marks of abuse. So the population is highly likely to be abused in some way for many reasons. One of them is failing health, inability to defend themselves, changes in their ability to retain information or recall information. So it makes them more susceptible to abuse. I know that there are some signs of abuse that we'll talk about after Tracy gives some statistics on LGBTQ.
I'd love to, Eileen.
And there are additional challenges they face.
Yeah. So one of the things that what I'm going to say right now is for all elders. It's not just LGBTQ. So each year, an estimated 5 million older adults are abused, neglected, or exploited. Older Americans lose an estimated $2.6 billion annually due to elder financial abuse and exploitation. Funds that could be used to pay for basic needs such as housing, food, and medical care. It is estimated that only 1 in 5 of these crimes are discovered.
So abuse can happen in many locations. It can happen in the individual's home. It can happen at a nursing facility. It can happen at by a caretaker that comes into the home. It can happen through a family member. So there are many, many opportunities for individuals, elder individuals, to be exposed to abuse because they are relying on the community, family members, and professionals to care for them.
And you trust.
And they are supposedly trusting people.
Yeah. So one of the things, the reason why June is Elder Abuse Awareness Month is, in June 15th, 2006, World Elder Abuse Awareness Day came about. So they aim to provide an opportunity for communities around the world to promote a better understanding of abuse and neglect for older persons by raising awareness of the cultural, social, economic, and demographic process affecting elder abuse and neglect. One of the things we talk about offline, when I say offline, is we kind of meet ahead of time, guys, is, you know, what happens if you don't have kids? I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, I was married to a great guy, and one day realized, hey, I needed a great girl. And I have a kid, so maybe as I get older, my kid can help me out. But Medicaid doesn't pay for long-term nursing care, even though 70% of people, whether LGBTQ or not, need that support and that help. And then looking into costs, it's $91,000 a year for a nursing home. So we were talking offline that LGBTQ people from back in the day only have about 10 grand, if that, saved in plus assets because of certain things we're going to talk about in a little bit of why that's all they have. What you got?
So let's see, you talked about the reasons why cases go unreported. You talked about only 1 in 5 get reported.
Yeah.
So many times elderly don't report abuse because they're afraid of retaliation or they're afraid that they're no longer going to get care. So that could be
evicted. I mean, there's just so many things that we don't think
And
about.
a lot of elderly, because I worked with the elderly, they were embarrassed.
They're embarrassed. They may not remember,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So they may not remember that something happened.
Or that person is taken care of.
Especially somebody like in their family, they don't want somebody to know, like, oh my goodness, my children have berated me and belittled me and, you know,
Right, that's a hard thing to
threaten
swallow
them.
for sure.
Yep. So few have enough money for retirement, but LGBTQ have less. For LGBTQ older adults, a lifetime of employment discrimination and other factors contribute to I'm going to say that word wrong, disproportionately high poverty rates. You know, we talked about it earlier, but overall 42% of all LGBTQ elders told SAGE, and one of the things about SAGE is the services and advocacy for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender elders. They're a nonprofit agency dedicated to serving the LGBTQ older people. So SAGE, when we hear that, that's who they are. But overall, 42% of all LGBTQ elders told SAGE that they felt financial problems are going to be a big concern in their lives. 1/3 felt they were poorly prepared for retirement, and 47% said they had less than $10,000 in savings and other assets. So, I mean, that's just kind of, that's huge. We talk about, I'm sure I'll probably have it a little bit further down, but you get discriminated at your job, you get fired from your job, or you don't get the promotion for your job. So you kind of you're working through that. In Massachusetts, we have laws that help us with that, but other states do not.
Right.
So again, I mean, a lot of people I may have family out of state that could help me, and they move there and find out that, it's even worse, in other states than it is where we are in Massachusetts. Yeah.
So do you want to talk about some signs?
Sure.
All right, so let's see. I have here some signs of elder abuse. So if you see a change in personality or behavior, noticeable tension or friction between the older person and their caregiver, that's a definite sign. If they have had a significant loss of weight, it could be a sign of malnutrition or dehydration. If they are appearing, their clothes are dirty and that's not typical. If their body is dirty and that's not typical. If they don't have the appropriate things they need, like their glasses are broken, or their walker is broken, whatever they need for mobility is not in good repair. If there's signs of restraint, so if you notice marks on their wrists or their legs that aren't typical marks for them, those are signs that they could be being abused. They could have bed sores because they're stuck in bed. I mean, there are people who get bed sores anyways, but if it's not typical, then it's something that you should report. And there is a Massachusetts-based elder abuse hotline, which is 1-800-922-2275, and you can call and report suspected elder abuse.
Can you say it one more time?
I can. 1-800-922-2275. So you can call that number and you can just tell them that you have a suspicion of abuse. I'm pretty sure it's a confidential number, so your information
most of them for the states and whatnot are.
You don't have to give your name, or you don't have to, identify yourself, but you can report that you have a suspicion.
Other things to look at, I mean, you got a neighbor that lives near you, and they're always outside pruning their plants, and their yard looks good, and, all of a sudden you look over, and their car's not there, and, the yard's not looking the way it used to be, you don't see them as much. Take that time, guys, knock on the door. I mean, welcome wagon, when we were kids, we used to always joke, I'm welcome wagon, let's go, let's go to a neighbor's house, let's see what's going on. I used to go to an old lady's house down the street, because she used to make us cookies. I'm like, I'm going to go get a cookie, let's go for a walk, We need to take care of, it doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ or not, guys. We have to knock on the doors of our neighbors, people that we've known for all these years. That person that used to babysit you when you were, a kid, when your mom was working, needs your help now.
And when we call and make a report, we don't have to we're not the investigator. We don't have to prove that there is abuse. We just have to suspect it. And, maybe it's not abuse, but who wants to take that chance that someone's being abused and it wasn't reported? I mean, someone who can't care for themselves.
We hear it in the news all the time. Something happened. So, the neighbors are all there. Oh my God, I've never even thought. Oh my God, he's such a. Or you get the one. Oh yeah, I knew that. He could just tell. He was just this and he was just that. And I'm like, then why didn't you say something? You could have saved a life. You could have, helped somebody. I mean, we talk about animal abuse all the time, and that hits the news. How often do we hear about elderly abuse compared to animal abuse on the news?
Right.
I mean, right off the bat, that it's just disproportional.
Right.
Right? So one of the things I just wanted to read real quick, having support networks for LGBTQ people helps us because we don't have the families that we need. But one of the things is that the AIDS crisis happened years ago. So a lot of people back then had friends that they thought they'd grow up with and live with and survive with, and they're gone. So the decline of that, as well as if you and I are friends and we're LGBTQ, we're going to hang out together for the rest of our lives. Well, we're going to old together, we're going to age together. Who's going to take care of us? If I'm taking care of you, you're taking care of me. My memory's gone. You can't see no more and get downstairs, and I don't even remember that you need to go to the bathroom. But this is our life plan. We're best friends. But this is our life plan. We have to think ahead right now.
Right, and there's also when LGBTQ elders are in their social circle or with their family, they may be out and feel safe, but when they go into a facility, they may not feel comfortable. They may go back into the closet for fear of not getting appropriate or equal or just humane treatment. So that happens too, and that cuts down their social circle.
So one of the things about that is that if I'm gay and I'm going in, I may not say it because I need help.
That's true.
I need help filling out paperwork. I need help, maybe can you help me with Medicare? Can you get me to a doctor's appointment? Filing important paperwork, dealing, with services, professional staff doesn't know how to handle the situation.
Right.
So one of the things we're going to talk about, because I know we're just checking about 15 minutes or just checking our time, housing. This housing discrimination. There was a group called, I'm going to read it right now, the Equal Rights Center found that 48, they actually did like an undercover boss kind of thing. They went in and sent a whole bunch of LGBTQ people, couples, to find housing. 48% of same-sex couples they sent in the field to find housing were discriminated against. That's almost 50%. 50% couldn't even get it. And even, let's see, so then another thing, I know I just kind of changed something, I must have lost my pages somewhere. But people that lived openly in the past, we talk about that, they set the way, they paved the way, and now they have to hide themselves.
Yep.
So one of the things I want to kind of read is, a gay elder is afraid to have his partner visit after he's been placed in a skilled nursing facility because he's sharing a room with another man.
Right.
I mean, there's just certain things. Lesbian elder is discharged from the hospital with a doctor's order to have in-home physical therapy. She's just stressed out about scheduling therapy, wondering if the person coming will treat her differently. How are they going to treat her? What is that going to look like? Is she going to get abused in her own home? A lot of people, because they're LGBTQ, aren't saying anything. We had the police chief on here a couple weeks ago, and we asked him, do your officers get LGBTQ training? And he said, yes, they do. They do it, da-da-da, and I'm so excited for that. Well, we need to hold them accountable. We need to hold the nursing staff accountable. If, I don't speak to my mom anymore, and I apologize, I shouldn't say that on the air, but it is what it is. But if I was talking to my mom, was going to an assisted living care, I want to ask the right questions. We asked the police officer, do you talk to the Gay Men's Police League? Or what is it, Gay Men's Officers League? Talk and ask the questions that you need to get. Find out who else is on those boards. Ask the questions. You wouldn't just drop your kid off at any daycare.
Right.
And just go, okay, I'll pick you up at 5 and run out the door. You have to use that same judgment when you're dropping off your parents, if you're looking at it that way. If I'm dropping off my parents or bringing my parents to an assisted living, I need to do the same thing I would do dropping a 3-year-old off at daycare. I make those checks. I make those checks and balances. There's just certain things that we need to be there now for our elders. We just need to be. Go ahead, Annie.
I have a few comments. So,
What's up?
Dennis DeMello, hi. Elders, especially out veterans, really need help. Do we have any local places that they can turn to for help?
So we don't have it for the local veterans, but we do have other numbers that you have. Do you want to read those?
I do. So
But Eileen can find out, possibly, and get
I
back
can
to you?
definitely look
Okay.
into that, Dennis. I will.
The phone number?
Yeah, my phone number 774-775-2656.
Thank you.
So we'll be in touch, and I will research that and get back to you. I do have a general elder info hotline that you can call. Any elder can call, a family member, anyone who's a social worker, case manager, anyone who's looking to get some information about where to get services, they can call 1-888-243-5337. That's the elder info hotline. Locally, there is Coastline Elderly, 508-999-6400. They can help assist you with getting services for the elders in the community. And if you're outside of this area, you can call Bristol Elder Services. I believe they service some of Fall River and Taunton.
Yes.
And that number is 508-675-2101. So those are some numbers I have.
And Coastline also does Meals on Wheels.
Yes,
for-
they do.
For elderly, low-income people who may need a meal during the day.
Right.
Who don't cook.
Right.
And so it is a good service.
And sometimes elders just won't eat. If
Right, yeah.
they can't make their food and they don't have a reliable person that's going to show up every day,
Right.
they're not going to get food,
So-
so they're not going to eat. So Coastline will show up and
Yes.
provide them with a meal. So that's
One of the things I
amazing
talk about
service.
is I worked for Tedeschi Food Shops before this particular job I have now, and I would see the elderly come in quite a bit and get big cans of dog food. And over and over and over again, and I just know in my heart that that's what they're eating. I truly believe that they're mixing that with whatever to make ends meet, because it's nutritional, it's got enough to meet, and it's cheap enough. So I used to see it over and over again, the same elders coming in over and over and over again, getting the big cans of dog food, the Alpo, the big Alpos. Because I have some, inner city stores that I'm like, wow. I've had Richie stores for Tedeschi's and inner city stores, and it's really sad that I sell more dog food in the inner city area than I would in, in the other, so it's things that I see. I had like another statistics. Many gay people or LGBTQ came of age during a period of time in history when they were labeled criminals, sinners, or mentally ill. 1952, you were diagnosed as a sociopathic person with a sociopathic, personality disturbance. So over the years, that was 1952. I was born in 64. Yeah, so that person, I'm 54 now. So you figure that person's 64-ish, so they had all those problems prior. And they thought that my life would be better because I fought for you. Who's fighting for me now?
So that's what Linda Costa Highland stated, that many LGBTQ elders have lived through a time where discrimination was rampant. Yep. The legal and financial security of marriage was unavailable, and most have no children. And yes, some of us fear returning to that closet as we enter senior housing and nursing homes. So that just speaks to your point.
We appreciate that. So we formed the South Coast LGBTQ Network maybe 4.5 years ago. And the reason that we formed, I'll look this way now. So the reason that we formed that is money is dissipating from funds that we were all dipping into the Lipsky-Whitaker grants. So somebody said, well, why don't we form a network? And together we've kind of helped each other out. We got a $5,000 grant. The Women's Center was trying to go for the grant, and Comcast said we're helping LGBTQ kids. So the Women's Center wrote the grant on our behalf, because Eileen and I are also adult advisors for NB Agley, as well as this and that and that and that, and here's my hat, pick a different hat night. So we figured together working, we'll be able to help our community. Our next step, hopefully, will be a bigger center where we can have showers and beds and clinician work and things like that to be able to help the homeless in our community and whatnot, and as well as our youth. Because we just received, because Eileen, my idea was this big and Eileen's grant writing was that big, so together we have a grant for our kids for internships, trying to get the kids a job. We started together, our conversation and Eileen's work, the 8 to 13 group. If we can start with these kids now transitioning, whether you're gay or bisexual, it's a group for 8 to 13 with your parents to talk about what's going on in your life. How can we get you to the next step that we might not need all the 14 to 24 group. Other Agneys in the state do 22. We do 24 because HIV is still on the rise and New Bedford's not doing very well. We were number 5 in the state and now we're number 4 in the state. So we're not doing as well as we need to. And it's men of color having sex with other men and transgender women. So again, because we have the melting pot, Spanish, Hispanic, Portuguese, Cape Verdean, a lot of kids don't come out, a lot of people don't come out because they're afraid to go to kicked out of their home, and that's our target population because they are getting kicked out of their home. Their parents, their grandparents, and again, we talked about that a couple shows ago, that 33,000 whatever grandparents now have responsibility for their kids today in foster care. So, well, if they're stuck in their ways and they ain't changing, then they kick those kids out. And that's why we have the issues that we have, and so this revolving door. So if we can stop the early group, work on the 14 to 24 group, and again, we have 7 behavioral health that are helping out. We have the Q Plus Club at the school. We have Project Yes. There's Third Eye. I mean, there's so many different groups and organizations that are working with each other right now. But the network formed so we can kind of take one thing at a time. So we're working with our youth and we're doing our seniors right now, and that's kind of our huge concerns. Yes, we started the yoga, and it's to get some of these people out there. Who would have thought that Thomas, Marvin, and Connie, our seniors who never come out, I don't want to say never come out, they actually volunteered for Pride this year.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, because now they're looking at, after them being on our show, they realize, damn, I need to slap these kids upside the head, they need some help. Let's get back out there.
I think it was really about opening their eyes to the children born today, children growing up today, the 10-year-olds, they don't know the history, they don't have the experiences, and I think that it was eye-opening to the mature individuals that, wow, they don't know that. Like, we went through all these things,
Yeah.
but this younger generation, they didn't even know that gay marriage was ever illegal. So
But-
they're like,
But me,
wow.
even as a parent, 20 years ago, when my kids were teenagers, there was no resources 20
Right.
years ago.
Yep.
I had no one, there was no school resources, there was no
there wasn't.
outside, there was
GSAs.
no, there was no New Bedford Ackley back then.
And I can speak to the other side of that, being a parent of 20 years ago, being a parent fearful of coming out, what was going to happen, and were my children going to be taken away from me. So all of those
Yeah.
things that have happened over the years, this generation of kids now, they're 10,
But
11.
also me as a parent saying,
Yeah.
who can I talk to? Because
Right.
I think my son is gay.
Mhm.
And
There was no one there.
there was no one,
No one talked about it.
no.
So Dawn and I talked offline that she has 2 gay sons and 2 son-in-laws as well, and they bought a house for them.
Yes.
So I know we only have a couple minutes left. I want to get the story in. What were your concerns for your kids, and why did you buy the house?
We were lucky enough to do it. Our parents couldn't do it for us. So I think as a parent, that was something to give my children. They'll always have a safe house. They have each other to live in the house.
So it's a duplex, so
Yep.
one family lives above, so
Yes.
the brothers are going to be able to, all 4 partners are going to be able to take care of each other for the rest of their lives. So that's one of the things that Dawn, talking
Right.
offline, that she wanted to make sure that after I go,
Right.
my kids are set. Because who knows what's going to happen in the next 20 years or 30 years of their
Right,
lives.
so if something happened to me and my husband together, God forbid something happened, we got into an accident, my kids have a home. They're safe. It's going to be theirs for the rest of their lives. So they don't have to worry about a landlord saying, oh, your rent was $400 this month, but it's going to be $1,000 next month because, who's this? This your husband? Oh, yeah, $1,200. And,
Or you'll get evicted.
oh, yeah, you're getting
Back to that
evicted.
discrimination we
Back
talked
to
about earlier.
discrimination.
Right, and so
Yeah.
they'll never have to worry about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just a safe haven in my husband's and I's
Right.
eyes to say, you're going to be okay. We're going to start you out, and now here you
Because
are.
the house ain't free for them, let me tell you
No.
that.
No.
It's not like, hey, guess what, it's
No.
free.
No.
Yeah, like hell to the no. So we're just going to kind of end the show, but next week's show, we're going to talk about marches and political movements. It's June, it's Pride Month. How did it really get started? What's going on, political movements in our country, and yeah.
And I'm working on something, I can't really announce it yet, but,
But wait, the Derby.
oh yes,
We forgot about the Derby.
the Derby is, you're scaring Josh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. I did it again.
June 16th.
Yep.
At, I don't know.
The Fairhaven Carousel.
Thank you. Fairhaven Carousel, there's a roller derby, and there will be a 50-50 raffle there, and the proceeds from that will go to,
And be Agony a
Agony.
perfect place.
yes, so I will be there. I don't know, Tracy, are you gonna be there?
If it's, because I'm going to read it real
I
quick,
believe
guys.
it's a Saturday
So
night.
it's $10 online, $12 at the door.
Yep.
Kids 10 and under getting for free.
Yes.
Carousel Family Fun Center, 4 David Crown Boulevard, Fairhaven, Mass. So again, the Mass Attack Roller Derby is doing a fundraiser for MB Agley.
Yes.
So the 50-50, all the proceeds go to MB Agley. So I wanted to put a shout out for that for June 16th.
So is a link to that going to be on your website so
Yes,
people
it
know?
will.
Yep.
And also, we'll have a table there, and you can come over, talk to us, get some information about what's going on, and.
The doors open at 5:15,
Yes.
and the first whistle is at 6:10.
Yes.
Now, I've only seen Roller Derby on TV.
Oh, I went last summer, it was really fun.
So I'm excited to go see it. And I was like football on wheels.
Pretty much, yeah.
Football on
It
wheels.
was fun, it was really fun.
All right, so guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks for shopping.
Next week.
Appreciate it. Bye.